Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another one of our Nativz co-stream. We're going to be playing the NLC First Division 2024 tonight. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your host. I'm here, as usual, with Senbek and Zep. Hey, guys, how are you?
I'm doing good, having a good time, and I'm excited to go against Lionscreed today because remember, yesterday didn't go as good as we probably expected it to go, but today I feel like we have a little bit of fire about us.
I really hope so. How about you, Senbek? Hello.
Yep, I'm good to be here. This is a bounce back. All right, every story has to have the problem that you have to solve, and we may have a couple of problems to solve, if anything, to go by from yesterday.
Yeah, we sure do. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later because now we have a very interesting video. So we're going to watch Shawa Katami top 5 plays from 2017.
Okay, I'm ready to watch this.
Uh,
Where do you even start? First, okay, we have it. We have him hiding in the bush. Flash Q, is that just don't say that kills.
Double burn and ignites from fog. Okay. The PowerPoint transitions are something else. Is that
2017, you know.
old grass proc, by the way?
Wait, Sandbag, I think you could make this video today.
Velocity. I need lots of time and prepreration
Yeah,
to get this performance.
like this, a PowerPoint. Oh, is he actually going to get this? One more auto attack? I feel like I played my caster. That was so intense.
Assassin Timo.
Timo is always sad.
I mean, he gets the first kill.
Flashes the charm.
Sam, I feel like you need to play-by-play this.
I definitely don't need to do that here, unfortunately. For the viewers, this is also our first viewing of this, and I'm mighty impressed so far.
Well, I'm astounded. So if anybody thinks that, all good League of Legends players started off amazing, of course they did. Take a look at this, Shai Katami. Clearly the best top mid anything in the whole entire world. That Flash Q.
Flash
Actually pretty
Q.
good.
Okay, I will give it to him. That one was worth it. I will give it to him. He held the best for last for sure.
That was just amazing. I think if we have anything close to those 5 plays tonight, the game's ours.
Yes, well, one thing I do have to tell everybody is, yes, Shai Katami is now a support main, but you know how everybody has their villain arc, like Sandbag said before? He had his. He was a Timo main back in the day, got to Challenger on the Turkish leagues. Well, I don't even know what to say to that. If you're a Challenger Timo main and he's turned into this, that was God's work, to say the least.
Well, I definitely got him where he is right now. Do you have any comments, Zenbeg?
I do not. I do love the fact that no matter who you ask, there was always a period of time where you just one tricked a champion for no reason. That is 90% of the time not their role. Like at one point, someone would be like, "Yeah, I mained Corky," says our top laner who plays Renekton, Gnar, and Cassante only. Like everyone has those moments for no reason.
Everyone does. Should we take a look at the table graphics so we can see what we're doing currently? We are in second place after our loss from yesterday. It was a bit sad. Do you guys have any comments on our standings, how we're feeling right now, what this all means to the current season, Sandbag?
Yeah, current standings are we very easily could have been 4-1 and up there with Venom Crest is the unfortunate part. Like you said, a lot to be broken down, and there are upsets on upsets on upsets this season. So it does feel like the top and the bottom are like squished together and compressed for sure.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've
Yeah,
actually been really curious about is how every team that we're expecting to be really high to the top, maybe super low down, hasn't really turned out that way. Of course, Natives, we're meant to be probably middle of the pack, maybe slightly further forward than that. But you have someone like Lionscreed, who we are facing today, who's meant to be the top of the ladder. They're meant to be clearly the best team. And they're sitting at 3 and 2, the exact same standings as us. And it feels like any team in this season could beat each other, even DMG beating us.
agreed. And since you just said talked about Lions Creed being the favorites, the strongest team of the season, what do you think that makes them the favorite to win this season?
Well, first of all, have you seen some of the names on their roster? First of all, Panda's Johan, Tempt, two of those Korean players that we talked so much about how strong they are. Jinjo, and then a United Kingdom player, representing Kasing, somebody who used to be back in the LEC. Every single player on this team has had veterans. They know what they're doing, and it just feels like this team, even though on paper they are meant to be the best, it feels like they just haven't clicked together. And that's one thing I have to say about this Natives roster, except for yesterday, their team fighting, their cohesion has really been nice to watch. So maybe today we're able to get a little bit closer to feeling more comfortable together. There's no way we can't take Lions Creed down.
Yeah, I really hope so. Sandbag, what do you feel like that we could do tonight to avoid the situation we had last night, besides sticking together as a team, of course?
Yeah, the cohesion is the kind of overall thing. But in terms of kind of an autopsy on yesterday, it was those sidelines. It was trying to get waves synced up and crashing at the same time, or guaranteeing that you're fully committing on one thing. Because it did feel like we got pulled into a situation we were kind of trying to team fight, kind of all in comp, Israel's in there somewhere, but not fully getting one direction. It felt like five players doing different calls. And so, for example, I think you even said this afterwards on post game, Zath, of Trundle just lets Orn do his Orn things and just beelines towards those towers.
Yeah, you should 100% just try and negate him and go for those towers instead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh, let's see how the draft is tonight.
Oh,
Sonic on
Sandberg.
the in. Oh, a long way into draft here. We're gonna have to catch up on this one. It is Banderas kicking this off. Lucian, Nami, Vi for the side of the blue team of Lionscreed. On the other side, Varus, Maokai, Azir, and Rakan for the home team of Natives. A Hui Hover will be locked in as well. Lots to talk about as we load kind of halfway into this draft.
Yeah, I'm just trying to speed run my processes of thinking what both of these teams want to go for, and everything I'm seeing on the side of Lion Creed is they want Prio down bot lane, have Fire to be this aggressive jungler, and it seems like they are trying to focus down there, while on the opposite side of Lions Creed, where it feels like they're going for a little bit more of a defensive maneuverability, having something like the Varus in the bot lane. But I'm really concerned for him, because if Vi gets into that backline, or even against something like the Lucian Nami, this Varus is going to have a very difficult time trying to play this game, which means that a lot of the damage is just going to be Nulu on the side of Natives.
Yep, he's got his mobility to step away from. Another layer to that, once the Vi commits her ultimate, is it will hold you in place for Ornn knockup. So if those are staggered correctly, you may be CC'd for up to 3.5, 4 seconds worth of just chaining spells together. And 4.5 seconds in this season is a death sentence of an AD carry.
Yeah, definitely going to be a death sentence. Fortunately, from the side Natives, even though they do lose the early game, I think longer the game goes, you still have a Varus, you still have an Aatrox, and an Azir, so you can be pretty comfortable in this. However, for me, I think that Lions Creed do have the better draft. They have the better early game, at least towards the bot side. And Natives, they need to start becoming creative around this level 6 mark to start getting things going. Because this Maokai, which we talked about before, being giga broken everywhere this season, I would love for him to try and have some counter actions against Lionscreed. And if Natives can actually absorb everything Lionscreed will throw at them, there's definitely a possibility for afterwards to find these fights.
Certainly. Absorption, and the other thing is range, right? Azir, Maokai, the space created from those champions is going to be massively in the favor of Natives.
Yeah. And Lisa, how do you feel about both of these drafts?
Oh, mute on our end, it looks like.
Yeah, apologies for
Oh,
that.
I'm
We will.
sorry. That was
Okay, we're
my
back.
bad.
We're
I
back.
forgot to press the button.
There we go.
As I was just saying, I don't know what to expect anymore since yesterday. I felt like last night's draft was really good, and then we had the results that we had. So I don't really want to say anything and jinx here.
Well, there's nothing to jinx about this. It's all between the Natives players against Lionscreed. So I'm super excited to see how both these teams will be going up against each other. But mostly from the side of Natives, compared to yesterday, they've gone for more of a team fight style site that they do feel more comfortable on. Because behind the scenes, we're talking about this Trundle pickup against this on last game when it had these opportunities to try and push its lead by getting these towers. Instead, it always seemed like the top laner of Smurfy wanted to come to the team, wanted to support them instead of going for these side lane towers. So I feel like this team comp really suits what Natives likes.
I really hope so. And to be honest, I was really happy seeing the two supports that were picked there. I really liked them. And I do feel that Native's answer to Nami picking Rakan was really good. So I am looking forward to seeing that. I'm actually really excited to see the bot lane because the league now it's more about bot lane than anything else. And we have a Zirback, which has brought us some really nice wins. What do you think about it, Sandbag?
Yeah, I would agree. This is a return to form for the Natives team. It is Nulu back on Azir, who I believe he's won a player of the game already this split. It is Rusty back on Varus, which he played the first 2 games of the split, even off camera. It is the style that found success early on, and in a kind of a bounce back day after previous game, comfort is something that I would prize very heavily. Just kind of still the waters, settle in for what will be a tough game versus a very challenging opponent, but familiarity valuable.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
everything that Natives has been going for is this front to back fight, which we know they are so good at. And I really just hope that Natives have a little bit more cohesion than yesterday, because remember when we saw how many plays they tried to make with this Vi, at least now the Vi's against them and they're still not against the Viego.
Yeah,
Still
no
not against
Viego.
the Viego. No Viego. That's really good news. And I'm actually happy to see as well that we have Maokai after we talked a lot about him yesterday, right? I
Yeah.
think you were talking about his versatility, Zeth.
Yeah, so the main reason that I absolutely love this Maokai pickup is because it can either get switched from jungle to support and really maybe even top lane if you're feeling a little bit cheeky on that side. But the thing that Maokai actually does here is when you have the brambles or the E ability, it basically class itself as a ward, gives you a slow as well. Your W is point and click CC. The only other champion that really does that anymore is Malzahar, and you get that on a normal ability, not even your ultimate, so that's super powerful. Ultimate as well, it may be slow going forwards, but that is a wall you cannot avoid. One person has to tank that up. And when we look at the side of Lionscreed, if Ornn is topside and hasn't teleported down yet, if it hits any other member on the side of Lionscreed, they're instantly going to die. So Natives with that pickup definitely do have opportunities to find their lead in this early game.
They sure do. And for top lane, we have Atrox against Ornn. So we kind of feel like Ornn now. I'm a bit scared of him, not gonna lie, after what we saw happening. But Sandbag, how do you feel that this matchup will go?
The Ornn is going to be hurtling underneath his tower and stacking as much armor as he can get his hands on. I expect to see somewhere in the 15 CS range advantage of Aatrox coming out of the lane, a plate or two, likely the grubs on top of it, considering you will have push priority that sustain from the passive. You'll be able to bully him out, but I wouldn't expect to see anything beyond that. Solo kills would be an incredible boon in terms of time bought, but it will likely be pressure and nothing beyond that likely.
Nothing beyond that. All right, so the game is on. It's time to see how that's gonna go.
And as we load in a Summoner's Rift, first and only game, these are BO1s, no second chances. Lionscreed taking on Natives. No invades this time. I feel like the last time we cut to live and we were halfway through enemy jungle, it will give us a moment to set ourselves up and take a quick little look through. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, just taking a look what everybody decided to go for their rune choices. The only thing that really stands out to me is Rusty Sniper having that Halo Blades onto the Varus. So we said early game that Jinjo and Kasing should be winning that 2v2, but now after Halo Blades, there will be a little bit more of a punchback from the side of Nativz. So it's going to be curious to see if Lionscreed are going to change how they want to find these engages, because if they go in and can't find a way out, Nativz will be winning the long fight there.
Yep, you have the DPS out of Nulu, so Rusty Sniper can afford to go a little bit more burst heavy, no lethal tempo there. And if I'm not mistaken, that will indicate that he's moving more towards the Q lethality piercing arrow style, correct?
Yes, that is most likely his place, because you would pick something either like the Conqueror or something with attack speed to get yourselves that more AD style build. Lethality is definitely what we'll be going for. One thing I do actually want to notice people's attentions to is the 2 wards in the bot side river coming out from the side of Nativz. What those 2 wards do means that Vi can't really gank either mid or bot lane, keeping them very safe in this early game, allowing them to have this push pressure that Nativz can grab when it's a one-on-one.
Yep, trying to bully out for those waves. Early on, you saw Banderas trying to get there before they walked in and get that ward for Smurfy. Try and find push of his own early, same thing in the sides. As agency, a very valuable thing early on.
Yes, level 2 has been hitting the bot side. This is where we expected most of the fighting to happen, at least in this early game, with both trying to trade as much as possible. Cleanse is available for Jinjo, which probably shouldn't be used too much in the early game, but I'm a big fan of picking this up through the game, especially when he's against something like the Maokai that can instantly CC him up.
Yeah, trying to break the CC chain. Quickness later on, if you're fast enough with those fingers, being able to cleanse flash away from the knockup, yes, you will be charmed, but there won't be follow-up, giving him more opportunities to keep doing the, continue spam spells, cycling those out for Jinjo.
Yeah, Jinjo still will have quite a good time in this early game. Someone who isn't having a good time is Nulu in this mid lane, getting quite a bit of damage pumped into him by attempt. This new champion just does not feel good to play against, as both junglers have actually tried to get themselves towards this bot side. There will most likely be a fight for this Scuttle Crab, but it should go over to the sides of Lionscreed, as they do have Cryo in the bot side.
Nice little knockup from Banderas, but again, look at the health bars on the Aatrox. Chip damage will not stick. He will need, at minimum, level 6 and a jungler on top of that if you're trying to make it actually stand to the Aatrox.
Yeah, we actually see Jakey stealing away this Scuttle Crab from the side of Lionscreed. Because he has the faster clear, he was able to do so, even though Nativz wasn't able to follow him. And on top of the thing, he said top side as well. But Devs doesn't really care that he doesn't have mana and health left, only because he still has that teleport available. He's just going to instantly TP back up, and Smurfy, all he has is a teleport advantage. They need to make another play to make where Lionscreed lose on this top side.
Yep, it is still valuable, though, from the side of Nativz, who they're able to get this teleport advantage. So if something were to happen, the punishment is far more severe for the top.
Yeah, definitely will be that case. One thing that I wouldn't mind Smurfy doing is allowing it to come towards him, finding a freeze up towards his topside tower, which means that that gank can come through. And you can already see that these waves are stacking against the top lane of Bandoras.
Yep, it might end up just being, yeah, you see the channel coming through. Aatrox gonna be kicking his own forwards. One thing to keep in mind, Ornn passive with that Living Forge will be building items in lane. So recall timing is not as important as the resources he has at his disposal. Tempo can be cheated a little bit with that passive.
Yeah, that's one thing I actually am so curious to talk to you about, is because being an Ornn main yourself, or at least enjoying the champion quite a lot, how does it really feel to go get someone like the Aatrox? Is it a matchup that you get super scared about? Or is it one where you just kind of say, I lose, but I don't care, I get to scale?
It's tough, but it's not likely to be abused too hard. Like I was saying, you're not going to be in such poor shape, and also with so much innate wave clear out of the W and the Q, that you can just hit wave and peace out. You're not going to be boxed under your tower forever. You will have windows, as you see here, able to move over, help his jungler with the grubs, and then go back to lane, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, but this was mostly because of the mid lane. When we saw before, Nativz was winning out there, having the teleport advantage, pushed out this wave, allowing Vi to roam up, get themselves the 3 scuttlers, and that's a small lead again from the side of Lionscreed, as there hasn't been anything much happening in this early game, but slowly Lionscreed are getting their advantages.
Yep, quietly starting to get a couple neutrals here and there. 3 grubs to their name. They're going to be respawning soon, looking for those all-important Void grubs. Stacking into Void mites is heads and shoulders above the other.
Yeah, Barmy Cinders has been brought by Bandura, so we have a little bit of an easier time pushing out this wave, making sure that Smurfay can't stack this up as easily. And while they got themselves the Void Grubs in the top side, we did actually see Jakey sealing away a few jungle camps, getting himself a little bit of a CS lead against the jungle of Johan.
Yep, stacking FCS. However, neutral on the other side. Jakey going to be starting up the Drake bot lane, recalled, reset, and moved towards him with the Dirk in hand, so will likely not be a contest from a Vi. You see Vi bot side of the map, but not in time as it's falling down to 2k.
Yeah, Nami and Jinjo can do nothing to support him. This will be going over to the side of Nativz without any contestation. It's a good tempo advantage coming out from Nativz, getting themselves the first dragon of the game. I do expect for them to try and actually start stacking these dragons, because now that the Cloud Soul's gone away, a lot of these other dragons can be very useful for this team. And even though I did win them the game yesterday, it most likely will get them the win here today.
Still a sore spot, okay? We pick up the soul and aren't able to get it over the line. It's at one point, are we allowed to just call it off and just quit talking about that one? Because I'm nearing that point.
Well, I'm feeling like that's a tomorrow issue, at least next week issue. But yes, we will try our best not to mention the point too much, as we actually see Smurfay getting a good ward into the enemy side jungle. One thing that Nativz have done super well is noticing where Johan is. When we see the attempted ganks coming out from the side of Lionscreed, there's basically been zero, because anytime he tries to look, Nativz always has a ward to spot him out.
Yep, making sure, once again, same as yesterday, early vision control, preventing the jungler from getting plays off. However, level 6s in hand as we start to flip over everyone except for the bot lanes, means that these are the real playmakers. Look at your Azirs, look at your Vys, heads and tails when it comes to these level 6 versus level 5 breakpoints.
Yeah, the most important person to look at is going to be Johan on the Vi, that point-and-click ultimate. If he wants to go either in towards mid lane or bot side, most likely expected kill unless Jakey is able to counteract it.
Yep, a counter gank, or alternatively, one-way ticket on Vi can be Emperors Divided back underneath the tower. That is something to keep in mind, because you can't cancel it once it goes. You start the channel, E flash a lot of distance from this mid laner if Nulu has the space to do so.
Even with the flash available.
Shall we, however? Yeah, E from the Nami providing a lot of buffs.
I just do not enjoy going against Lucian Nami. As a support meme myself, that duo Q, whenever I see it, I just say AD carry. We can't fight this. We just lose.
The funniest part is this is after they quote-unquote untied Lucian to the enchanters, where he's not as reliant on being buffed up for that kind of overcharge passive. So this is the softened light version, as Rusty Sniper, Vi on route, level 6 and double buffs, flashes for flash, ultimate is gonna be committed here. Can Kasing find the bubble? Rusty Sniper trying to turn it around, bubble will not land, putting the damage through into the support. First blood goes over to the Maokai, and this is the counter gank you talked about. Body blocking the Q as best he can. Emperor's Divide plus Bramble Smash. 2 CCs are better than 1, and 2 kills go the way of Nativz.
That was actually a really interesting interaction at the end there. Did you see the streamer shuffle trying to push them forward? Bramble Smash just absolutely held them in place. But great job coming out from the side of Nativz, picking up that kill on the bot side. And it was a big mistake coming out from Johan. Instead of going for the Q first, he ulted and then went for the Q. He would have had enough damage to kill Rusty Sniper. But with the small edge, Rusty was able to get him out to safety, bide enough time for Jakey and his mid laner of Nulu to come down and get Nativz their second kill of the game.
Absolutely. Fast fingers from Rusty means that no damage out of Vault Breaker was just shy of finishing off the marksman.
Yeah, and even pushing this further, because Rusty Sniper was able to get the kill, find that reset, they actually rotated Nulu down to the bot side. Rusty Sniper is up here, and they went for 1 kill to now getting the Void Grubs, and this is one thing Nativz does so well, is moving around their components to start finding these objectives.
Absolutely, and it's exactly what we were saying. Vi's got one direction on that ultimate. She flies in, she sees the Maokai, but there's nothing you can do at that point with Q down, and ends up pulling one in with her in a lost cause.
Yeah, and because it's Nulu in this bot side, still has the flash available and ultimate, Lionscreed can't even look for the kill there, so it's just a 1 for 0 for Nativz getting those 3 Void Scuttlers.
Yep, covering every single box here. Make sure that no wave is dropped underneath bot. Sometimes that happens when you pick up grubs, not in this case. And making sure they pick up the kills. A little bit of danger here. Banderas does have ultimate, so if he has a moment, yeah, there it is. Call of the Forge Gods be flashed away from Smurfay with the World Ender, the last auto, and not enough brittle damage. Finishing the job. Ornn with the solo kill against Smurfay.
It was an Ornn moment, the assassin, the Viking, the anything and everything. Banderas able to pick up that kill. And Sandbag, I played with you so much on Ornn. Before that fight even started, I was like, this is an Ornn moment. This is a time where the tank becomes the assassin.
It's the Gunslinger, Paladin, Knight, Mage, Tank, Bruiser, Assassin, DPS, Cleric, Priest, Support, Engaged Champion up in the top lane. The Forge God does it all and picks up a solo of his own.
I love how you still know that copy pasta. Like, that's the one thing that you'll mention every single time when Ornn finds a solo kill. But somebody who isn't solo in this bot lane is going to be Jinjo, as Nativz may look for an engage here, but don't know Johan's here.
Not lurking, however, is the vibe. Piercing Light onto the Maokai. Ultimate on the other side. Chains of Corruption connecting. Trying to find the quickness onto 2. The knock-up displacement. Shoei Katami's going to be in retreat. The Maokai has no more life to give, and Tempt is able to grab that one up with a TP in.
Yeah, Nativz just don't have the burst damage they thought they had because Rustic Sniper had to hold himself off. Because if he walked forward, Jinjo was instantly going to engage onto him and he was going to die. So Nativz, with a little bit of a misplay there, allows Lionscreed to find that kill.
Yeah, I was even just about to say that was without the culling being used, so they had so much more in the tank. Maokai was dead to rights and they end up giving it over to the mid lane mage of someone we haven't talked much about, but Hui, later on as this goes forwards, will be the solution to their range problems.
Yeah, he'll completely be the solution to the range problem. However, somebody in the mid lane that did actually get a little bit of a victory out of that is going to be Nulu. Remember, he used the teleport beforehand. Because he wasn't able to use it in the last fight, he was able to get 2 tower plates to his name in the mid lane, and they're able to pick themselves up the dragon. So from a bad fight, Nativz still coming out on the lead there.
Yep, very small increments, but increments nonetheless. It's what, 400 gold advantage, a couple of neutrals to their side as well as they equalize those grubs. So anyone can make this next big cracking play, but there is a tiny edge built so far in the first couple minutes.
Well, somebody who might want to change that is going to be Nulu down towards the bot side. Has that streamer shuffle available if he wanted to go look for this play. However, a good ward coming out from the side of Lionscreed will completely negate that idea. But yeah, like you said before, Nativz finding these leads, but most importantly, I'm happy they've got the first 2 dragons, and it puts Lionscreed on a timer where if the next dragon goes over towards Nativz, Lionscreed have to fight every single dragon after that. And Nativz, at least for one of those fights, will be able to find and engage and probably get the 4th Drake and win the game from there.
Absolutely. Soul Point just makes it, but pressure is the perfect word, where any missed smite, any pick off around a dragon ends up breaking the game wide open. So trying to pick up the next one in a few more minutes, get your CS into you, make sure that you're finding leads here and there as the ultimate committed out attempt, Paranoia landing as the autos fly through on the other side. Q, flash away is not in time. Tempt with the damage picks up a solo of his own.
Yeah, you said that Hui does damage when it gets to the late game. He deals damage right now as Nulu went for that engage. Ultimate wasn't actually used because he wasn't close enough, and because he did have the flash available, he just gets taken out. But Lionscreed do need to be careful here. 2 members are looking against them, but I don't think they even want to come back here.
Yeah, as soon as Nulu uses that E forwards, it's such a tough spot. Jinjo in a tough position, taxing in from the Maokai, is able to find the root. Now it's up to the knockout. The move speed from the Nami means Lucian lives to fight another day, and the ultimates committed do not get much.
Yeah, but look at Varus. He wasn't able to do anything in that fight. The best he could do was a piercing arrow, and of course that's not going to be enough damage. So Lionscreed do actually expend the flash and the cleanse with Jinjo, but get themselves the Rift Herald and probably get the victory out of that fight.
Victory in the fights, and the Rift Herald grabbed up for the side of Lionscreed as well, means that there is potential for a cash-in. Tempt underneath the tower. We see reinforcements on all sides. Nami coming to cover. Xiaoi and Jakey waiting in the wings. The Q might come through if they finish off this structure. clearing the wave as best he can. Tower down, Tempt under fire. Rusty Sniper's able to find the chains onto the mid laner. Cease and assist onto the marksman, but there's no more damage to follow it up. TP to reinforce. Kasing under fire. His Vi in danger. Bubble will connect. Aqua Prison buying a moment, but without the marksman, there is no problem. Rusty Sniper picks up the Vi anyways, and Nativz overload bot and pick up all the gold.
It's a game of teleports. Whoever has the priority in them have been winning these team fights, because the top laner Smurfy, when he teleported down, actually hid in a bush topside. So there was nothing Bandaras could do against him. So you didn't see him winning that fight from the side of Nativz, and this has cracked open the game. Getting the bot side tower, getting the mid lane one here as well, and Nativz are looking so good in this game.
Summoning up a tower of his own. Call of the Forge God is just going to be slid away from the mobility of the Azir plus the portal. Exiting stage left and taking his prize with him.
I believe when he finished that warp, he went right, Sandbag.
Yeah. He ran left to the portal right, so...
okay, I'll allow it. I'll allow it for this time. But yeah, all jokes aside, the side of Lionscreed are having a little bit of a difficulty in this game, already getting themselves 3,000 gold down, and also having the dragon spawn in a minute's time. They need to start finding something early, and this is one thing a lot of teams have been struggling with, is if Lucian doesn't find his big lead in the early game, he kind of falls flat into the mid game and completely falls off the later this game goes. So if Lionscreed want any chance of getting a lead and getting themselves back into this game, they need to make a play sooner rather than later.
It becomes a matter of possessing damage, but not applying it, right? Where you can contribute with a culling, sure, and that will soften them up. But if you can't get in and you can't get those autos off and those spells slinging, Jinzhou, however, trying to fight his way forward. Chains of Corruption connecting, 4 versus 3, down to 200 HP, and a piercing arrow! Maximum range for Varus. We talk about Lucian needing a moment, and his moment is cut terribly short.
Yeah, the rest of his team was surrounded around him, thinking he was safe. However, Cleanse not being available for him allows that play to go through. Rusty Sniper with that pick should mean that the next dragon should be going over. And we talked about the amount of pressure when they get themselves to Soul Point, and that's exactly what they're going to get from that play.
Fear has been used. Tempt is able to throw that one out and chip out Smurfy, but won't finish him off. As Rusty Sniper and Xiaohui will come up to cover their top laner. Vi lurking as well, as they all swing up towards this top lane. But the objective in the meantime, just going to be uncontested from the Jakey.
I'm not sure if Nativz can actually defend this. They do have the teleport available if they want to try and defend it that much, but I think they should just give this up, be happy with the dragon, and allow Nulu in this bot side to try and steal away a few of these camps.
Yeah, no need. I absolutely agree with this call. Go to Soul Point, give up what is effectively a singular structure and not even that much space spot, as the jungle will still belong to them with the mid tower still standing. So more than happy to take that trade. Nativz moving to the Soul Point we talked about.
Yeah, Soul Point is going to be really useful for them. It should be that Hextech Soul, something that will be very strong on like Rusty Sniper because of the auto attack flying through. And like we said before, on that lethality build, already has 1.5 items. My apologies, completely finishes his second one, showing how far ahead he is of his opposite opponent, being at 1.3k ahead. And even the Maokai finishing that Throws of the Heart, meaning that Lucian Nami isn't going to have as much kick as it once had, and the Barmy Cinder. Everyone on the side of Nativz is starting to really hit the core of their items.
Really finding their stride here for the Nativz buys. Yeah, we have 1.5 almost across the board, an exception as you called out of Sniper, indicative of this isn't even tier completed and he is already incredibly threatening.
Yeah, you saw in the mid lane when he found that solo bolo onto Jinzhou. He needs to be careful not to walk up too far because it will just happen yet again. But the next major objective coming up is going to be this Baron. You see Nato trying to get the ward vision for this. However, Shai Katami with the team not around him cannot go any further and still needs to wait as Johan still has that Rift held to place.
Can't move much forwards up into the river. They don't have that dominating of a position, and yet a great rule of thumb is just look at ward lines, right? Where do wards fall as the Call of the Forge God? It can be flashed away from Rusty Sniper, knocked up interrupting the channel of his Q, but a big team fight cooldown expended from the Ornn as now they find their way onto the Maokai, feared and taken out, down to 1 HP, the ultimate ticking, waiting for the pop, onto the temp they fly, Smurfette is able to knock him down, the AP damage is done, Vi grabs 1 up to try and find the consolation prize, waiting for that Emperor's Divide, Ornn's gonna be burned down, Grand Entrance not connecting, Lucian trying to bail out his top as the Ornn flees for his life, burning to a crisp the long way through, is able to double his way through the chains, but finished off by raw damage. No CC required, and a 2-for-1 in a long chase down.
This could actually be a barren possibility if they wanted to, but Lionscreed being a little bit overzealous in that fight, thinking that they got the flash out of Rusty Sniper, they could get on top of him, but Johan missing crucially that mid lane tower means he's completely just away from this fight, can't find that engage. Rusty Sniper and Nulu are completely safe in that fight, so Nativz just turn it around as they've already got the gold lead, and Lionscreed lose yet again another fight.
But Johan's chasing down the tree to get something back for his team, but in the meantime, 4k gold beginning to stack up on the other side. Like he's stacking items as the core have been hit and the core is now surpassed as this tier soon to be completed with Caulfield's in inventory.
Yeah, when he gets himself to that 3rd item, the tier will most likely be complete, so he can instantly just finish that off, get that extra bit of mana, get that extra bit of damage into his kit. But that's not even as important as the Aesthetics gauge onto something like Smurfette, which means when he wants to go for these plays, he can't get bursted out. 2.5 items onto Maokai as well. Everyone has hit their points compared to the side of Lionscreed, where it is only that AD carry and mid laner who have got to that 2 items.
Posturing here for Vision, both teams understanding the value of information, as it will be Lionscreed holding on to their jungle so far, and wards remain in their favor.
Yeah, 1 minute 13 up until it could be soul point over towards the side of Nativz. So you see themselves positioning around this bot side, trying to make sure that the enemy team needs to walk into them. Because we said Nativz, they love it when they can go from this front to back fight, compared to Lionscreed, where they need to find this huge engage.
And getting Smurfette onto squishier members, onto more vulnerable moments. Tempt was the victim last time, and if he can replicate that success, TP available, and you saw him lurking, trying to find his way into those backlands and just chipping their way through health bars.
Yeah, even though the Tempt and Badurs both have teleport available, there are 0 wards in the backlines. There's no way a flank can come out from the side of Lionscreed. They need to find one to get this fight kicked off. Because remember, Rusty Sniper still doesn't have that flash available. They get taken out to start the fight. There's still a possibility for Lionscreed to win this.
And everyone fighting for this choke, constantly spamming sapling, spamming spells. You see the long range Quake Q, the variation to try and find the information required, but they're just gonna sit and lurk. They know they sit on a pink, they know they have information advantage.
Yeah, they never need to find this engage here. You already see Banderas has been chunked down to almost half HP. Jinjo as well. It's all for Lionscreed to make the play. If not, Nativz will happily wait here until they make a mistake.
Half HP onto the Ornn, he finds a pillar onto 2, the ultimate will be called, but he's finished off before he gets the recast. Ornn R2 never falls, and as a result, the Dragon Soul shall.
But we do have to see Johan is still up and available, could maybe go for a steal, but is opting out of it, not trying to go for that. And this all comes down to a big outplay coming out from Nativz, remembering we don't have to find this fight, we can just go for poke instead and wait for them to come to us, because that was a big strife I had with them yesterday, is they weren't able to find this poke before the fight even started. But Rusty Sniper now in that Varus, Nulu now a little bit more comfortable in the Azir, it feels like a completely different team.
Absolutely, a much better look from Nativz, right? You can almost feel the difference between the jitters and the scrappy, rapid running up and down lanes of the previous game versus this one where we can stand in a bush for the next 30 seconds and we are completely fine to do so. And it pays off in the end. Banderas, the tankiest member, eventually has to check, and when he does, ripped apart at the seams, and the objective goes their way.
Yeah, you can't even get upset at Banderas. Who else can really walk in? We know that Johan isn't tanky enough here. Of course, none of the other 3 members are, so he needs to be that first engage. But it's just come to the point where Lionscreed are so far behind, Banderas just doesn't have the tankiness to be that main front line that Lionscreed need him to be.
Nope, we're looking at 3 items finished off for Rusty Sniper, and Ornn has 1. Yes, he is tanky. Yes, he gets resistances off passive, but that's not even close to a fair fight at this point in time.
Yeah, now that it's turned into a big team fighting clump where people don't want to go for these side lanes, where can Bandao's actually find the gold he needs to become this big tank? It feels just too late for him to try and do so, which means that Nativz are in a great position just to keep the game as it's going, making sure to slowly push their vision ahead, start this Baron, and then look for the fight afterwards.
Yep, jockey for mid-wave, set up your vision, find ship. Jockey for mid-wave, set up for vision, and look for the engaged. Smurfette is going to be forced away with the flash, the world ender, but the culling does its job. Jakey now frontline for frontline, top for top. Into the backline it goes. The Maokai's a long way from the rest of his squad as Johan tries to find it on the Rusty Sniper. Johan retreating with his Q. Tempt and Jinjo looking to recollect with the team, but the Bramble Smash to alley-oop it back to the team. They get their pick. Azir flashing over the wall for more damage. Emperor's Divide finds its mark as Nulu shall live through the fight. Piercing arrows slow with Hextech, forcing Jinjo back. He will survive the encounter, but still a 3-for-1 plus Baron next up.
Lionscreed are bleeding, and they're bleeding badly, as Baron should be going over to the way of the Nativz. As Lionscreed, that fight was looking so good at the start. Bandao's was tanking more than I was expecting, killing Smurfette. But the big thing is, when Bandao's is down, no one else can be that front line. We know Nativz has more damage. They instantly tried to get onto start getting onto Jinjo, and then now going for the Baron.
Horn flashing in with a Searing Charge, trying to find himself a pick on a Rusty Sniper, but his W is expended, and with no ult, no more Brittle, and no more damage, Baron picked up for the red team.
Yeah, no team to support him, so he was just going for that solo play, which feels like it was a little bit too much to do. So now Nativz getting that big team fight win, getting Bound on top of that, have got themselves an 8,000 gold lead, and all they need to do now is just start pushing out these waves, go for a 1-3-1 setup, and just start taking these towers and get this gold lead up to that 10k mark.
8,000 gold, Soul, Baron, what more can you ask for? Nativz running the map from tip to tail at this point in time.
Hit to tail, to say the least. And we can see exactly them doing that.
Shall we? Quickness on Nami, knocked up and knocked down, making it look easy as Nativz kick down the door and set their sights on this base.
I think they can just keep pushing this. They don't need to even stop it. They want to flash into the base. I think they still win this fight.
Showey's looking. You see him hanging off on the right-hand side of your screen, trying to find the vision. They have wards over the wall. Call the Forge God a long way away. Rusty Sniper trying to find the distance. Knocked up by the Searing Charge, and finds to be able to make his way in. Trying to kick it off, but the Emperor's Divide on the right. They make the shuffle on in. Desperation from Lionscreed is stuffed where it lies. And Nativz, 28 minutes into the game, Baron buff in hand, are looking to close this one out.
Yeah, it was the right play, but the wrong time from the side of Lionscreed, as they're going to take another loss in NLC Division 1 as Nativz go 4-2.
4-2 secured, padding out the stats, and the Nexus is done. GG. Nativz picks it up.
GG, what a game. I think that we learned a lot from yesterday.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, because some of the strives that I had about yesterday that I talked about in the post-game interview is exactly what they fixed here. I talked to the mid lane, of course, Nulu, being like, hey, I don't think this poke and then go in really works. He said, no, we just played badly. Today, played so much better. Show me that you can poke before you fight, and it shows just how strong of a team and how great this team is, most importantly, at bouncing back.
It just showed why we should be the favorites. It was just beautiful game. Sandbag, what do you think about what just happened?
I feel like it was cruising. No disrespect to opponents, but it just felt like from the very first fight, go up 2-0, and there were plays made, there were attempts, there were moments, but they just felt dealt with. There were questions posed, absolutely, but solutions in kind. Cruise your way to answering grubs, picking up soul, picking up baron, picking up fight, picking up base. It's just league by the numbers. Solved, solved, solved.
Solved. And we're gonna interview one of our players now. So, Jakey, welcome. Not ready yet. uh, do we have him on camera? He's trying to fix it. In the meantime, I have to say I was a little bit worried about Lucianami, as you said, that they are a very strong comp, but not strong enough for our bot.
Yeah, that's the big powerful thing about Lucianami is yes, it's very aggressive in this early game. If you can start pushing his lead and keep it going like snowballing, yes, it's amazing. However, no offense, a lot of teams have troubles in this mid game trying to push it further on, which allows these small gaps to open for teams like Nativz to come in and stop it. And they didn't even get to that mid game. Straight away, when we thought that Lucianami would start doing well, we had someone like Rusty Sniper just coming in, going for those solo plays, and getting Nativz to that lead they needed.
It just got them everything they needed. And can we talk as well a little bit about the jungle here? Since we're about to interview our jungle, can we talk about the difference that he made, Sandbag?
Maokai diff. Obviously a player piloting, but a champion that's able to do what Vi did, but better. Point and click CC, we have that. Sustain, we have that. Displacement and AoE for team fighting. Jakey is able to just go in, make marksman life horrific in those backlines, and wipe it up from there.
And wipe it up for the from there. Sorry. That's what do you think about how our jungle did tonight?
Well, I think our jungler did very well today. I have to give massive congratulations to JK because I felt like yesterday, of course, it is a very hard time to play the Vi into site like a Viego. When you go in, if it doesn't go perfectly, it really just becomes difficult to play after the first, like, I guess, mistake coming out of the fight. But in the second game, having site like the Maokai a little bit more comfortable for him does actually allow him to pick up the win here. And I felt like he was a major facet of why someone like Rusty Sniper and Nunu could play this game because of how Maokai can be this front forward force.
Agreed. And Sandbag, I really want to hear what you think about the Azir in this game.
I think I said it from the very beginning. It's a champion that he knows inside and out, something that he has already won awards on, picked up wins on, and more of the same here. Even that very last fight, split on two fronts, they're trying to dive in to get on top of Rusty. And in the meanwhile, he's 1v2 in the backlines. They're knocked up, they're finished off, he's doing it himself. It's something that he looks incredibly competent on, and a champion that is not as easy to execute as he makes it look.
Pretty good. Thanks for that. And now, finally, Jakey, welcome. Can we talk a little bit about this game? How do you feel after this beautiful win?
I'm feeling so good. I'm proud of the team. We bounced back after yesterday's loss, so it feels amazing right now.
Yeah. How do you feel about the draft?
Yeah, like draft went like we think it's gonna go, and we had basically everything what we wanted. So we were pretty happy with it.
Pretty good. And how do you feel that the map changes, the monsters, everything that changed in this new season affected your role as a jungle?
I mean, I like the changes. It's always like gives like new fresh air for the game, and so I like it.
That's good. That's good. Uh, Zach, do you want to ask him any specific questions?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask the difference between today and yesterday because, of course, yesterday you were playing the Vi into Viego in a comp where, to be honest, I wouldn't want to play Vi into because after the first fight doesn't go well, of course, Viego will just take completely over the game. How did it feel to have this game, the Maokai, sound a little bit more comfortable and be in that engaged force it felt like for the team?
I mean, yeah, yesterday it wasn't like the best draft for the buy, right? But we lost it by ourselves. And today I just did the dirty job for the team, with the Maokai protecting my AD carry or mid laner. And yeah, they did their job perfectly well. So I'm happy with it as well.
You definitely did very well, so congratulations. Sandbag, do you have any questions for our jungle?
Yeah, I guess the most interesting thing is you guys almost felt like you cruised your way to this victory, and there was worries whether yesterday would almost kind of get to you. How do you yourself kind of like brush off a previous game? Is it forget about it? Is it kind of analyze it? How do you kind of brush it off and move on?
I honestly we were worried as well after yesterday game, right? So if how it's gonna look today, but we had like bit like small talk about yesterday and what we're gonna do today, and we kind of agreed what like on the plan, and we know that we are good players, everyone of the team. So yeah, we just played our game and we played as a team, like for the first time, honestly.
First time. That's quite big to say.
Yeah.
That one thing I actually want to go into depth about is because, of course, you guys are only into your second week now, trying to get more comfortable with each other. What do you think changed, I guess, today to get you guys to really click together and say that it's your best game together so far?
I mean, I would say we just like respect the info, what everyone says in the game, and honestly just respect each other in comps, you know, like listen to each other and follow the plan, not like doing solo queue plays.
Yeah, do you feel more confident now for next week's games?
Yeah, for sure. I think this victory is gonna give us like, yeah, we'll be
It's good.
confident in the future games.
That's awesome. Confidence is everything. And I really wanted to ask you, how do you feel about your role in the current meta for both solo queue and competitive?
I mean, everyone is still complaining about jungle in solo queue, right? It's OP. Yeah, it is. I have to say it is.
It
So
is.
I'm happy with it. So yeah, and in competitive it's a bit different, you know. Like you like your comms is the what you should do. Like what is your job to giving info to your team, what you gonna do, what is enemy jungler gonna do. So it's I like more the competitive one. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And could you tell us a little bit more about you outside the games? What other hobbies do you have, maybe?
Uh, Not many hobbies, but I enjoy playing like tennis with my friend in some free time. Yeah, that's it. Kinda.
Basically, breathing League Legends.
Yeah.
That's no, that's amazing. Thank you so much for coming tonight, Jakey. Do you guys want to ask him any other questions?
The only other question I do have is, of course, Lionscreed, everybody kind of unanimously agreed, was meant to be the best team coming in here. They had probably the most respect known towards them. So, how do you feel now? Of course, you said you feel more comfortable. Do you feel like you can win the whole split now? Or do you feel like top three? Like, where's your head at?
I mean, like Lionscreed are for sure like the strongest team on the paper, you know. But that's not how it works in the league right now. You need to be like one team, and that's the key. And I'm for sure like believing in ourselves, and I'm pretty sure that we can win the split if we click together and like improve a bit. And yeah.
Mhm. Sandbag, I feel like you might have a really good question for Jakey now.
I do have one more before we're gonna let you go and throw you into the monkey cage that is the viewing party. Of you said there's one team or you feel confident that you can win. Who's joining you in finals then? Because we have one team heads and tails in terms of
Mm,
standings. One team's on paper. Is there anyone who you're like underlining in the scores that this will be our competition?
Well, we lost to North, so maybe them. But I think the Lionscreed still gonna make it to finals, honestly. And
Really? Even after
yeah,
you took
yeah.
care of business today, that you still think this
I,
is your
I, I,
number
I
two
be-
team?
yeah, I believe in them as well. So, but we
Ooh.
will see. It could be North, like they beat us, right? But I think we lost the game to ourselves. But you never know.
Just not DMG, please. Just whoever's in the brackets for
Yeah,
us,
please
put
no.
DMG on the opposite side. We'll see them in finals. I'll give you guys a hype talk beforehand so that game doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully not.
And next week we're playing against Verdant on Wednesday, right? At 8 p.m. CET, and then on Thursday against Northeast Ports at 9 p.m. CET. How are you feeling about those next games?
Yeah, like I said, like I'm feeling comfortable always, like about my performance. But also after today's game, I'm you know confident about everyone in the team. So I think if we like play like we did today, it's gonna be a really good game for us, and we will take it.
Fingers
Yep.
crossed. Jakey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to give a big send a big hug to our sponsors. Ireland Esports Collegiate Series, Ireland's only esports series specifically for third level students. They are on Comment IECS on Discord chat. We also have Oxen, our official kit partner, items of Nativz merch available on their website, Comment, Oxen, and Allotment, our official purpose partner acting to preserve the coral reefs of Koh in Thailand and support the local communities on Comment, Allotment. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was really nice to watch the gaming. Oh God, watching the game with you. And I'll see you next week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. CET and Thursday at 9 p.m. CET for the next games.